Welcome to our Basecamp Barn Project. I'm Natalie.
And I'm Brian. We ended our last episode flooded by the farm crops surrounding our property. While we waited for the ground to dry, we began to schedule our infrastructure build-out.
And we also took some time to start exploring our new area in our Jeep.
So come along with us as we start working the land.
Here at our Basecamp Barn Project. We had to wait about 2 weeks for the ground to dry off enough so we could drive our rig onto the property.
The earth here is very silty. It's been tilled for many decades.
Just ask our dog Kenai. The dirt clods get stuck in between her toes.
Because we couldn't drive onto our property, we camped at Ridgeway State Park for a couple of weeks.
Yes, on and off. They have 2 campgrounds there. One of them has really good cell service. The other one has full hookups.
While we waited for the ground to dry up, we went exploring in the Jeep.
Our first trip out in the Jeep was to Animas Forks, high up in the mountains up from Silverton.
Most of the trails were closed.
But it's still really beautiful up there, and we had a picnic lunch.
Once the ground was dry enough, we drove our rig onto the property and boondocked here a couple days at a time.
Because it was still cool enough that we didn't need AC.
First up was testing. Here in Montrose County, the permit process requires an engineered septic system and an engineered foundation. The testing will determine what kind of septic system we can install. The testing will also tell us how deep we need to make the foundation and how strong we need to make it to support the building we want to build. We drilled a total of 4 holes for our foundation. 2 of them were over by the barn. 2 were over by a future house. They were 15 feet deep. We pulled cores out of those holes to get a better idea of what our geology is so that they can design the correct foundation for both of those houses. We also drilled 4 holes 4 feet deep for the septic system leach field. They filled them with water, and after 24 hours came back and measured how much the level of water had dropped, and that would help them determine if the earth had enough absorption ability for a leach field. We're designing the septic system for 5 bedrooms, 2 in the barn and 3 in the house. We also dug 2 8-foot deep pits to get a better sample of the earth at the depth the bottom of the septic leach field system would be at. We hired Black Canyon Engineering to do both of those requirements.
While we waited for the results of the drilling and the testing, we had some fun, first of all, by going to the Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park.
Yeah, we made a Camp Cook Brian lunch spot video there called Gunnison Gordos. There's a link to that video in the description below.
When we purchased the property, there was already a water tap installed and paid for.
Yeah, so we contracted with Earthworks. They installed a parking pad and dug a trench from our meter to where our frost-free water spigot is for the RV.
Yay, running water.
Yay, running water. We also put 2 T's in this water line for our future barn and our future house. All of our testing has been returned positive. We've got really good soil, perfect conditions to build on. Our perk test for our septic is excellent. So everything has been turned over to the engineering department at Black Canyon Engineers, and they're going to start working on our septic system first, and then foundation for the barn. Once we turned everything over to the engineering department, timing looked really good for our Glacier National Park trip. We planned this trip almost a year ago, well before we purchased this farmland. The plan was to meet up with family members in Cody, Wyoming. Cody is at the east entrance to Yellowstone National Park. We packed up and headed to Rawlins, Wyoming, the first overnight of the trip.
Got a chip in the window today. Holy cow.
But
Did you find some?
yeah,
They had something?
yeah, $18.
$18. Okay. So far. Coming up in our next episode, we narrowly missed the flooding in Yellowstone, and we get to go visit Glacier National Park.
And we'll get power and a septic system. See you next time.
Bye for now.